What if I told you that loneliness isn't your enemy, but your greatest advantage? We live in a world that treats being alone like a disease. If you're alone on a Friday night, something must be wrong. If you enjoy your own company, you're antisocial. But what if solitude is actually your secret weapon? Today, we're going to talk about why being alone might be one of the best things that can ever happen to you. Society is afraid of silence. Modern culture is addicted to noise, notifications, messages, social media, endless scrolling. Think about platforms like Instagram or TikTok. They're built to make sure you're never alone with your thoughts. Why? Because silence is uncomfortable. When you're alone, there's no distraction, no validation, no applause, just you, and most people are terrified of that. But discomfort doesn't mean danger. Sometimes, it means growth. Alone doesn't mean lonely. There's a huge difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is feeling disconnected. Solitude is choosing to be with yourself. Some of the greatest thinkers in history actively sought solitude. Nikola Tesla preferred long periods of isolation to develop his ideas. Henry David Thoreau went into the woods alone and wrote Walden, reflecting on simple living and deep thinking. They understood something powerful. You cannot hear your own voice when the world is screaming at you. When you're alone, you start thinking for yourself, not for approval, not for trends, not for likes. You discover who you really are. When you're constantly around people, you're performing. You adjust your opinions. You soften your personality. You filter your thoughts. But when you're alone, the mask comes off, and that can be scary. Because you might realize you don't actually enjoy what your friends enjoy. You don't believe what you pretend to believe. You don't want the life you've been chasing. Solitude forces honesty, and honesty creates clarity. Clarity creates power. Creativity thrives in isolation. Every creative breakthrough requires space. Look at writers, artists, inventors. Deep work demands uninterrupted time. Even tech leaders like Steve Jobs were known for taking long walks alone to think through ideas. Your brain needs boredom. When you remove constant stimulation, your mind starts connecting dots in ways it never could before. That's where original ideas are born, not in group chats, not in crowded rooms, but in quiet moments. Emotional strength is built alone. If you can't sit alone with your thoughts for 10 minutes, how will you handle real adversity? Solitude builds emotional independence. You stop needing constant reassurance. You stop depending on others to regulate your mood. You become stable. And here's the truth. People who are comfortable alone are harder to manipulate because they don't stay in relationships out of fear. They don't chase attention out of insecurity. They choose instead of cling. That's power. Being alone resets your standards. When you spend time alone, something shifts. You start enjoying your own peace. And suddenly, not everyone deserves access to you. You stop tolerating drama. You stop entertaining shallow conversations. You stop shrinking yourself to fit in, because now you know your solitude feels better than chaos, and that changes everything. Being alone isn't a punishment. It's training. It's clarity. It's creativity. It's strength. The world will tell you to fear solitude, but the people who master it, they build empires from it. So the next time you find yourself alone, don't reach for your phone, sit with it. You might just meet the strongest version of yourself.